Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Martin. If you're a first-time visitor, I welcome you. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, and friend, I welcome you back. Today we've had an interesting day so far. We being my wife and I, we went and voted early in our Canadian federal election. So I'll tell you about how that experience went. I did not video anything there, but it was an interesting process, to say the least. So right now, we are in St. Albert, and my wife has a few errands to do, so I dropped her off, and I am back here at St. Albert Mall. It's called St. Albert Center, but it's basically a mall. So anyway, I'm going to go in there and we will chat with you about our experience with this federal election. Come along. If you can see behind me, here in St. Albert, the folks are lined up to vote. So there is an election election booth here as well. So I didn't know that would be here, but I guess it's as good a place as anywhere. My wife and I, we went and voted at a Legion. We'll take a little walk and talk. So here's some signage here, Elections Canada, and arrows, places to go and vote. So we will take a little walk and chat. So I thought I would just take a chair and have a little sit down while I am talking to you folks. So the interesting thing is my wife went and I went to the elections place this morning to vote early because the election is actually April 28th. But we went and voted early and went there and stood in line, and my wife was holding the two election notices telling us where we had to go, and I was right behind her, and the one guy said to her, why do you have two? And then she said, well, my husband. And I looked at him and go, what, am I invisible? Anyway, so we were standing in line. He said, okay, go stand there. So we're standing in line, and this line up was very, very long, and it wasn't moving very fast. But then I looked at my cardboard paper for Elections Canada, and it had a number 606. So I looked at all the booths, and they had different numbers, 610, 68, whatever. And I said to my wife, I said, well, maybe we should be over there at 606. And then one of the guys said, oh yeah, this lineup is 612. So I said, well, it's a good thing I took a look because nobody told us. And we would be standing there for a long time before we were able to get in. So finally we went over to the booth that said 606, and there was nobody in line. Well, there's one young lady that was there, but that was it. So we got in there. My wife went first, showed her her ID, and the lady, who was probably pushing 70 years old, from India, or from Indian descent, she started filling out the paperwork, and then she put, because there was another fellow before her that wrote our names down, my wife's name and then my name, and the lady then he left, but then the lady that started doing our paperwork, she wrote my wife's information next to my name. And my wife says, I can read upside down and I can see that you're doing it wrong. So she, oh, did I make a mistake? And she said, yeah, you did. You're putting it by my husband's name. This is my name. So anyway, she got that done, and then my wife went to vote, and then she came back and went to put the ballot in the box, and the woman said, no, don't put it in there yet. I need to take a piece of paper off of it. So she did that, and then I went, got mine done, and I went and I voted. But it's kind of funny because a lot of the people that were in there, I don't know. I guess they're. I don't know if they're from other countries originally or what, but they're all half of them can barely speak English. But anyway, the funny thing is, I applied to work for Elections Canada. I think for 1 week. For 1 week, you can make about $1,000 for 1 week. But I didn't get called. So, but they hire those people, but they don't hire me. I don't. Nobody wants to hire me. I actually had another job I applied for in parking, shuttle parking and different things. And I got an email yesterday saying, well, I looked at your resume and thank you for applying, but we decided to go with somebody else. So, oh well, it is what it is. You only do what you can do. So another interesting thing here in St. Albert, as I have mentioned before in other videos, it's actually a nice city, and it's sort of like a bedroom community of Edmonton. And I was just saying to my wife, maybe in 3 years or so, when and if we are able to retire, wouldn't mind selling our house, taking some of the profits, and then getting a little condominium here in St. Albert. St. Albert is a nice community here. So, and you're still close enough to Edmonton if you needed to go there for any reason. But St. Albert has everything that you would need. They've got the Costco, they got the Walmarts, they got the Sobeys, Superstore, all the grocery stores that you could possibly need to get groceries and food. But they also have nice restaurants. One of our favorite Italian restaurants is called Nello's. It's here in St. Albert, and it is a real nice Italian restaurant, and we know the owners relatively well. So that's nice. So that's a possibility down the road. It would be a while, like I say, 2 to 3 years away, and then who knows? Maybe we could have a little bit of savings and take 2 or 3 months off and go to somewhere warm for the winters, because our Canadian winters can get pretty brutal, even here in St. Albert. So that's just the possibilities. It's always good to think about things. Think about the possibilities that are out there. So we'll continue our discussion. Oh, I also wanted to say that I wish you all the folks who celebrate Easter, the Easter weekend, I wish you a happy Good Friday and a happy and blessed Easter weekend. So that's nice for a lot of folks to have a few days off here for that. So just wanted to wish you all a beautiful Easter weekend. So we'll just take a little stroll here in this mall, get away from the crying babies, and take a look and see what's going on. Again, it's a fairly quiet day today here. It's Good Friday, April 18th today. So, but we got all kinds of little businesses and things here. So this is the real place here. Oh, here's Beck Antiques and Jewelry. These guys have a lot of good things. They've got their gold and silver, rare coins, and all kinds of great items here. These folks, one of their other locations, I think downtown Edmonton, they've been broken into a few times and a lot of things stolen. But funny thing is, they had a lot of interesting ways of preventing that. So what they did was they had smoke grenades or smoke bombs inside, that when the person broke in, it was covered. They were covered in smoke and they couldn't see, couldn't breathe, and they had to leave without getting anything. So that's quite interesting. Great little place. A lot of good little odds and ends. All kinds of cool things. And here's Blackbeard. Cool. Just out of curiosity, do you have a Winners in your country or city? Winners is a good place that has a lot of different apparels, odds and ends, purses, bags for men and women. It's quite an interesting store. A lot of good stuff here. A lot of good stuff here as well. My wife has been here before. They've got quite a lot of good stuff. Flash fashion apparel. It's quite a nice little business here. So, yeah. If anybody saw my video that I did a couple months back about are you a mall rat from the 80s, 70s and 80s? This is the mall that I was at where I had those teenage or even younger children come in and ask me if I was a YouTuber. And they wanted my autograph, and they appeared on my YouTube channel at that time. But that was kind of fun. That was kind of cute. So, but anyway, like I say, we've got all kinds of things here. Not a bad mall. It's small, but sometimes small is better. Sometimes it's better than these big mega malls where you can get lost. Literally get lost and have to ask for assistance to find your way out. So again, here we're just at the mall and looking around here. They don't have very much going on here, but the food court is all you need. You got your Tim Hortons, your A&W, and the like. So it's okay. All you need. Here's a cute little attraction for the little tykes. Your little carousel, the little ponies, and all that good stuff. Very nice. It was kind of funny, but there was a young lady who was pulling a little cart behind her, and I was way over here. She was probably 40, 50 feet away, but she dropped a box. A box fell off the back of her cart, and she didn't know, and she kept walking. So I kind of pointed to her behind her, says, "Look behind you." And then she stopped, and then she saw the box on the floor, 10, 12 feet behind her, said thanks to me, and went and picked up the box. But as soon as she went and picked up the box, a whole bunch of other things fell off her cart. Baskets and whatnot, and coffee beans fell all over the floor and stuff. So I felt bad for her. So then I walked over to her and I said, "It's gonna be one of those days, right?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "I shouldn't have said anything, because as soon as I said that, you stopped. That's when everything fell off your cart." So she just laughed and I laughed. I said, "Well, don't feel bad. That's happened to me before as well." So, but yeah, like you say, is it going to be one of those days? It's not too bad. It's a beautiful day today, but things can happen to all of us. It looks like somebody wants to go on a vacation. Little hats and swimsuits, all kinds of good stuff here. Here's a nice little store called Atmosphere. They've got all kinds of odds and ends and sunglasses and accessories. Anything you need when you go on a trip. Look at the lineup there now for voting. It's a long one today. There's the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny is getting his picture taken. Kind of cute. That'd be a good job. I could do that. Another thing that happened, or not really happened, but I received an email from my accountant for my tax purposes. So, got to file the taxes. But my wife went and got her taxes done already, because our accountant is sometimes hard to get a hold of. So I know my wife reached out to her a couple times and she never replied. So my wife went and got hers done somewhere else. But mine finally got a hold of me and goes, "Oh, I see that your wife got her taxes done somewhere else. That might interfere with your ability to do income splitting and all this kind of stuff." I said, "Well, whatever, just do what you can do." So she will get my taxes done. Now, because I have a GST number, because I was doing the independent contractor courier driving, also with Uber Eats, I have my GST number, so I can maybe claim some expenses. But she's making it sound like it's such a complicated thing, so who knows if it will be or not. But I said, go ahead and file my taxes and try to keep the costs down, because I still don't know how much it's going to cost me to get my taxes done. And I don't know how much I'm going to owe, because last year I owed something like $2,400, but I paid it out in 4 installments. So this year, if I owe a bunch of money, same thing, I'm going to have to do it in installments, because I'm not going to be able to come up with $5,000 cash to pay it right away. But once I know all that, get that all taken care of, by next year it should be much better. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can find a decent job. Like I say, I don't want to just take anything, not at my age and whatnot. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm not always able to do the things that I could when I was in my 30s and 40s. So I don't know. I don't think I want to be working, standing on a highway crew, doing flagging for 12 hours a day, or going up to a labor camp for 2 weeks at a time, and then coming home for 1 week. That doesn't sound too interesting to me. No. So anyway, I just wanted to do a short video here. I might, my wife and I might go over and see our family members who have that little puppy. We haven't seen that little puppy for a week or so, so maybe I'll put a little video clip in the end here of the little dog, Lyra. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick video and wish you all a very happy Easter weekend. He has risen. God bless. She's sitting with her dirty bum on my leg. She's right though? Mm-hmm. She can lay beside me, but I'm trying not to get her too excited. I try not to look at her. No, Lyra. Lyra, over here. Over here, Lyra. Over here, okay? No biting. No biting.
When they don't understand, supposed to buy your cheek, yeah.
No tail. No, Lyra. Uh-oh.